Jayana. Can I go ahead with the CDP?
Yeah,
Because yeah, here in the CDP, what we did is, uh, am I audible? Like my voice is
yeah,
clear,
I can
right?
hear you. Yes.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Let me know, Jayana, if you are able to see my screen. Hello?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah. Yeah, in the CDP, like this CDP is ingestion of data from the API pipe, API, Jayana. Okay.
Okay.
Jayana, like your voice is too low, Jayana.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Uh, yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
It is ingestion of data from the API. First, we need to have these for the CDP. We have two two jobs. Like one is profile and another is extract. Okay. First, we need to run this profile. Okay.
Okay.
In the profile,
May I know what is the
here,
difference between that profile and extract job?
yeah, I will let you know. Here we are extracting the profile data, and there in the extract job we are extracting the activities data. Okay. Here we are connecting to this URL.
Okay.
Okay. Here we have two URLs. One is con URL and another is uni URL. Now we are connecting we are connecting to this API and we are fetching the data. Okay. Um, before connecting, before connecting here, we are generating the access token. Okay. By using that access token, we are connecting to that URL. Okay. And we have used the for fast purpose. We have used the fetch parallel. Here we are using the max worker as 2, such that it will at a time it will two threads will run and it will fetch the data. Okay.
Okay.
If you go, if you go to this here, this function, fetch. Mm, here it will goes to the definition and here the URL will be passed, and again we are from this function we are going to this one, this one, and here we mentioned everything like access token, API, URL, and all these things. Yeah. Here in this we are iterating. Why we are iterating means because it's like a pagination in the API. After fetching one page, we will get the next page in the same manner. After getting the one cursor ID, we need to fetch for the next cursor ID until there is no cursor ID. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like that we need to fetch until
This
no
cursor
no.
ID, this cursor ID is just a pointer, right?
Yeah, its cursor ID is a pointer to the next cursor ID. Yeah,
Okay.
we can consider it as a page number. Once we get the one page number, we will navigate to the another page, right? Until it is empty page number.
Okay.
Like that, we need to iterate over that particular uh, cursors. Okay, how we have
Okay.
iterated. First, we need to fetch the data. If there is cursor in the data, we need to take that next cursor. and again we need to run this particular job.
Okay.
Here we have defined it in the while loop.
Okay.
Okay, until uh, until we get the cursor ID as null, this loop will runs, and we are storing the data in the whole data, and
Okay.
again this whole data will comes here, like this whole data will be returned here, and this function will fetch to the parallel
Okay.
to here, and this will be used in the result data con and unicorn, and here we are checking the length and storing the data into the S3 bucket in the form of JSON. Okay,
Okay.
and again we are storing that here we are using the here we are exploring the data and dropping the attributes and storing in the because here if there is any nested structures, we are just exploring the data and storing into the bucket called transformed bucket. Okay,
Okay.
here we here we have segregated data into two categories. One is raw data and another is transformed data. In the raw data, we will store in the form of JSON format, and in the transform layer we will store in the Parquet format. Okay, this is the path of these. If you go and see this path, CDP cloud,
Basically, it will pull the data from the API and push the data to S3 location, right?
yeah, S3 location.
Okay. Is this data as a partition data?
Yeah, it is partition data. If you see here, it is partition, right? Partition to file number.
Your page is loading.
You can see, right?
Exception, profile transform, repartition, drop duplicates with column. Where partitioning?
Yeah, this is partition.
That is repartition into number of partitions. Partition based on how are we rating the data? Is it partition based on time or location?
No, it is not partition based on any of the thing,
Okay, it's a full
specific
refresh data.
attribute.
Hmm.
It is partition into the 5 partitions.
Okay.
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 And why I am specifying you to should see the data means because we are getting one of the issue. So it will be helpful to you. Yeah, here we are storing in the two. First, we are storing the raw data in the raw bucket. This is the profiles. Okay, con profile and uni
Okay.
profile. If you see the data, it is somewhere like since we are storing in the raw bucket, it is around 148 MB like this. And if you see the same thing in the transformer bucket, As I said, right, raw bucket contains a JSON file and this transformed bucket contain Parquet file. Uh, Here, if you see the data, it contains, we have divided into 5 partitions, so it will be number of objects will be 5, and each object will be taken as 4 MB, roughly 4 MB. That means 4 5 are 20 MB. Okay. Sometimes what happening means if we are running, we are getting here because this is the full load what we did. For the delta load, when we are running the delta load, we are getting a file in the, because we are not mentioning here in the code, we didn't mention any schema here. Okay.
Okay.
We are just storing in the JSON format, and after that, we are converting from the JSON format. We are exploring the data and converting into the converting into the Parquet format. Sometimes when we are getting the different files means when the data, when one of the column is different, at that point of time. Because all the files will be in under the one bucket. In Athena, it is not able to comprehend. Okay, one file is in one format, like one file means one file of the column. One column in a file is one format, and in another file, one column is another format. At that particular point of time, since the two formats are different, we are getting an issue. Okay.
Okay.
That's the thing you need to check. And extract profile data. This is the profile data, right? In the same manner, we have the activities. Sorry. Why we ran the profile data in the pipeline in the first step is based upon the profile IDs, we are extracting the activities. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, that's why first in the pipeline, this profile should be run, and after that, activities should be run. Here, if you see, we are we are connecting to the mm, table in the crawler. This is the database name and this is the table, and fetching the data of con profile. Okay. And
Hmm.
from this data, we are taking the primary CDP ID, and based upon this CDP ID, we are fetching the activities data.
Okay.
Okay. They are fetching the activities data. Um, that's why here, if you see, uh, here we have collected the data and passed it into the customer ID. And this customer ID is, these IDs are passing parallelly. We are using the API called parallel option.
Okay.
And the max worker has 10. That means at one point of time, 10 instance will run. And
Okay.
it
You mean
will
for each customer IDs, we will pull their activities, right?
not each customer ID. It will for all the customer IDs here. It will
Hmm.
segregate into the 10 partitions or 10
Okay.
instance. On that 10 instance, this API parallel call will work. If you go to this, like to optimize this job, or otherwise, if you are passing like a single job, it will take. If the time is now is X, it will take 10X.
Okay.
And now here, the same manner, here if you see in this API, we are passing and all these are same. Mm, Again, it will call this executor submit will call this API call workers. Here it will be the same token IDs and activity. Here, if you see this ID in the API URL, this ID will be passed. Like how many IDs are there? For that, one URL will be generated and it will be fetching the data.
Okay.
Okay. And again, as we discussed, it will store in the first in the raw bucket and next in the transformed bucket. Here it is a try and catch exception. If there is any exception, we are storing in the exception. We are raising an exception if there is any exception in this job.
Okay.
And again, here we are using the table dot put underscore item such that we are storing when the job got ran and all those details are we are storing in the demo DB such that for the next run it will take from this table and it will from that point from that point of time it will run.
Okay.
Once you can go through this code,
Yeah.
Jayana, if you have any doubts, we can connect again.
Sure, sure. Once I get AWS access, I will go through it. This is
You, right now,
uh,
you don't have the AWS access.
I just raised a request. It will take some time. After that, I
Okay.
will have access.
Yeah, because once you go through the code, then only you can get that.
Yeah, I will go through it.
Yeah. Here we
And
are using the concurrent functions because
hmm,
to run it concurrently, to run it parallelly instead of having the serial run. If we are running for serial, now the job is taking 4 hours. If we run it is in a serial manner, it will take 40 hours like that, which
okay,
the glue job won't support.
okay. And one question, what will be the maximum data size when you pull the data?
Yeah, we have seen here, right? The size is like for JSON file, it is 140 MB like that. If you are able to see here,
Okay.
140 MB like that.
Yeah.
But for every run, if there is slightly difference of the data, the schema is getting changed. So we need to handle that particular thing.
Okay.
Okay, then I will connect you again.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Once I get access, I will go through it. And last
Mm.
questions, how frequently you run this job?
Yeah. The another thing I missed is like it is right now scheduled like every day at 3 o'clock. That means it will run at
Okay,
9
once in a
o'clock
day,
or
this
8
job will
o'clock
run.
IST.
Okay, once
Yeah,
in a this job will
once in
run
a
once in
day.
a day. Okay,
Yeah, but what Narendra sir asked me to do is to run it for every half an hour, okay?
okay,
Which is not a possible solution because for every half an hour means like if there is a huge data,
okay,
then there will be an concurrent issue because one job is still running and another is started. We have put max concurrence as one, then there will be some issue. We need to check with him once if there is some huge amount of data is coming.
okay,
Yeah, that's one of the thing he said. We need to
okay,
change here for every day it is running at 8 o'clock. The frequency is one run per day, but we need to change it.
okay, sure. Okay, Navin, I will go through it. If I get it out, I will ping you once again.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
But when you will get the AWS access?
I think it will take 2 more hours.
2 more days.
2 more hours. Today itself, I will get the access.
Okay. Okay then. Thanks, Diana.
Okay, okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you very much. మాట్లాడే